Hey everyone, hun. Time another gaming vlog for this week. Hey, a lot of things I've been wanting to address, and lots of games I've been trying. Among other topics discussed here, we'll be seeing how some legacy games sizzle, how a Joker expansion fizzled, and also how one PS Plus exclusive's bubble may have already burst. So let's get started. So, let's start with one of the developments that came into my feed as I was about to get this started. That it seems that Foam Stars, the Splatoon-like game, which came on PS Plus at the start of February, has lost 94% of its player base. Has been revealed, and it's also clear to me that unless they revamp a lot of how the game is structured, especially in terms of monetization, up to and including its $30 paywall for people who aren't on PS Plus, it's likely not one of this world. It definitely did not help that the month launch was right before the viral success of Helldivers 2, and especially before the side order expansion dropped for Splatoon 3. And I've gotten a lot more use out of the side order and the other upcoming events, so like the Splatoon 3 Springfest. Which really illustrates the perils of getting into the live service market, especially in terms of looter shooters. That should make a nice segue to my next topic. It seems that the Joker DLC that headlined the Season 1 expansion to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has not garnered the response that has been expected. There was a brief burst of players when the DLC post went live, but those players not stuck around, especially when the two options were to either grind excessively to unlock the Joker or to pay $10, which is a bit of a shady move, which even Marvel's Avengers has let you play with Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, and other characters when they went live, which I can't believe I'm comparing another aspect to this game unfavorably Marvel's Avengers, but here we are. Where and it also doesn't help that on top of this variant of the Joker not being able to see it in terms of design and personalities, most of the content is basically not different from the base game with some Joker-ish cosmetics applied to it. And it's even gotten so bad that now there's potentially talk about ending the game's content early in 2025. At least based on certain leaks, and other rumblings. I'm not at liberty to confirm or deny that detail just yet, but it would not surprise me if that were the case. And if it ends up being another parallel Anthem, hopefully this will also mean that Rocksteady would be able to go back to doing the single player content they're known for. Or, just saying, I think the Metropolis sandbox in this game would be great for a potential standalone Superman game. I'm being completely honest. Yeah, talk more about that another time. And if you're a subscriber to online memberships like I am, let's just say that this month is another one where you definitely got a lot of options. So I'm gonna get to the PS Plus titles and what I'm personally playing or plan to play in this one, where we have the award-nominated David Diver, and despite the discourse around whether or not it should be classified as an indie title, even though it has a trappings of one, it was being funded by the massive company Nexon. It was relatively well received, and definitely be eager to try it. The original Medieval, which is a pretty underrated PS1 game, has joined PS Plus alongside the PS4 remake and the PSP version Medieval Resurrection, complete with trophy lists. And Alone in the Dark, The New Nightmare, the 2001 title, which is one of the better installments in the franchise. And even though it came out initially when most people moved on to the PS2 and or getting ready for the GameCube and original Xbox, it still is one of the better ones because it focuses on the slow burning horror aspect of the franchise. And with the recent full remake of the original game with David Harbour in it out, and while not being perfect, is thankfully close in spirit to the original whole atmospheric installments rather than some of the lesser well received action versions of the game. It's actually definitely worth revisiting since I actually played the Game Boy Color version on NSO before, so I can see myself enjoying more of this one. Of course, one leak that ended up being true was this: Star Wars Rebel Assault 2 The Hidden Empire, an on-rails game which has FMV cutscenes telling a unique story set between the events of New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, as the rebellion, fresh off their destruction of the Death Star, is trying to elude the Empire as they seek to snuff out the Fire Rebellion before it spreads even further. And for its time, they actually did a fairly decent job. I mean, even as someone who's not the biggest fan of FMV games, I think they used the format properly here, which is no similarity it had. It kind of reminds me of the similar Wing Commander series, especially the third game, which had not only Luke himself, Mark Hamill in there, but also Malcolm McDowell. So, and even the gameplay can be tricky at times, but it's still reasonably fun. Helps that Factor 5 had developed quite a few entertaining games for the saga, most notably the first couple Rogue Squadron games, including like Rogue Leader. Rogue Squadron 2 is one of my all-time favorite GameCube games, and also the Indiana Jones trilogy on Super Nintendo as well. So they work with Lucasfilm, yielded fairly good results for the most part. Yeah. On the Nintendo Switch Online front, we have 3 new games added here in the States, 2 of which were previously Japan exclusive, and even the Japanese feed is getting some interesting ones. I mean, let's start with the Western feed first because I played them more recently. I mean, Super R-Type, a classic space shooter, and also the formerly Japan exclusive titles. The first is Amazing Heberiki, something of a chibi-esque fighting game, which I can best describe as precursor to something like Smash Bros. Or Power Stone in terms of gameplay. And Wrecking Crew 98, which on top of containing the original game in its entirety, adds new modes unique to this version. As someone who rather enjoys Wrecking Crew, it's nice fun, especially given how by 1998 in the States, most people have moved on to the PlayStation or Nintendo 64 on other consoles. So definitely something to keep in mind. And the Japanese feed has games I might give a go in a little while. Which is their port of Battletoads and Battle Maniacs, or simply Battle Maniacs as they call it there. And Marvelous Mohitotsu no Takarajima, apologize in advance for pronunciation there. They're both fairly interesting additions, I would say. I've also been really playing Splatoon 3 quite extensively, as I've mentioned, practicing for the next Springfest, and I'm just running my runs on Splatoon on the side order, contemplating full review of that. and working on my son's completion of the expansions of Scarlet and Violet. I had a full review of Hidden Treasure Area Zero, to be sure. And of course, I definitely going for one last playthrough of Hyperstone Heist before my full review of that, since I make sure I feel Tales correct. I've written my script, of course, so there's that. Of course, I am still very much working on getting Platinum in Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection, and it's a demolition trophies. These are specifically for those medals. I am this close. I'm even dipping in and playing the dice version, the second game, just whenever I feel like it. There's just interest me is all stage I'm at currently. But anyway, that'll be all for now. Now, see you tomorrow with my next vlog in X-Men 97. So, that'll be all for now. So, take care, everyone.